us this morning. Now, our next guest is the author of Black Woman is Queen, Pamper Up and the Silent P books, and that's the title of the book, and it was written based on her personal experiences on learning to practice self-love and self-care while in Jamaica and to help millions of black queens all over the world. Let's welcome the author, Kadian Snow, to share some more. Good morning and welcome, Kadian.
Hi, good morning.
All right, happy to have you. So in terms of writing this novel or writing this book, what were your initial thoughts? Were you ever afraid to be so vulnerable with the world, or it's something you always wanted to do?
It's something I've always wanted to do. From when I was in high school, I've always wanted to write, and I've always wanted to write a book. So it wasn't something I was nervous about. It was just trying to learn how to get the process done. That was what was challenging me, though.
The process of it. Okay, that's a nice take there. So in terms of this particular book, choosing this area to write about, was that difficult at all?
It wasn't, because Black women need love. We need to be pampered, as my book says, pamper up. So it wasn't something that was challenging for me. And the Silent P, which is about teaching girls about their period, is something that I wanted to write about because I didn't see a book like that growing up. So I wanted to get something like that done for kids, for the girls.
All right. So the first one, Black Woman is Queen. Are there any role models you have in Jamaica or internationally that, you know, stirred this type of confidence in you?
Well, I grew up with a lot of women in my family. So I have a lot of role models from my family. And I also admire Oprah Winfrey. She's one of the persons that I look to. And I get a lot of inspiration from her because she's been through so much, but yet still she's come up to become a multi-billionaire. So that's an inspiration for me.
So what are some of the characteristics you think a young Black woman should attain by the time she reaches perhaps even 30?
Well, she must have some level of intellect. Learn about yourself, your body, understand your needs, your wants, learn about taking care of you as a person, both your mental health, your physical, and your spiritual well-being. It's important to learn these things because that's how you get to take care of you, to be the best version of yourself for the world.
So those would perhaps be like the top 3 areas that a woman should focus on.
Yes.
Now, in terms of the Silent P, that particular aspect now, which age group is that book for? Is it that, you know, just turned teenager, you know, the full gamut of high school? Which age group is that one for?
Well, it's for the age groups between the age of 9 to 13, because that's when you start to actually go through puberty. A girl can start seeing her period at the age of 9, you know, believe it or not. She's very young, but she can start seeing her period at that age. So I wrote it for the age group between 9 to 13.
All right, so that book is from 9 to 13. And give me a little bit of a synopsis of how the format of that book.
All right, so that book, I designed it myself. Kudos to me. The synopsis of the book is basically, it's teaching us about how to take care of ourselves during our period. What are some of the changes in our body as a young woman? Because you know that's when you're starting to become an adult, basically as a woman for girls. So once you start seeing a period, they always say, oh, that's when you become a woman now. You know, that's when you have to be careful. Your mom needs to tell you about the bees and everything else. So it's basically teaching us about what a period is and how to take care of ourselves while we have our period.
So it's not a journal in any way. It's just a matter of reading, consuming the knowledge, and knowing the steps to follow.
Yes.
For the girl that's reading at that age. Have you had any, you know, dads or boys read that particular book as well?
Yeah. Actually, the first customer I had that I sold my book to was a male customer, because he had a 10-year-old daughter. She didn't see her period yet or anything. And he bought the book for her. And luckily he bought the book for her. She read it and they were prepared. he bought everything that she needed, like the sanitary napkins and so forth. So he was prepared for it. So I was very happy that I wrote it and I was able to impact on someone's life.
And even to improve the relationship between daddy and daughter as well, because he's now
Yes,
involved
yes,
in that learning process and the journey.
yes.
All right. Now, the title of the book is The Silent P, but you're hoping to, make more people aware. So why that name or why that title?
Well, I say the silent P because when you see your period, nobody can see it. Nobody can tell that you have it. It's a silent, because a lot of times the only time you will know that a woman is going through her period is unless she tells you, or maybe you see her facial features might have changed. She has a pimples, or her body odor might change. These are different things. So it's very silent. You won't know unless someone tells you. So that's why the name came about, the silent P.
Mhm. All right. In terms of any other books on the horizon, can you let us know at this point in time, or do you see yourself writing more books?
I have a fourth book out. It's called What I Wish I Told My Mom. I Was Raped and Silenced. And it's basically to highlight about the rape culture that we have in our country and in the world, because it's not just Jamaica, because a lot of persons here in the US, they're raped too. So I wrote the book because I had my experience of being molested as a young kid. So I wrote it. I wrote it and published it in June of this year.
Wow. So you're not afraid to be vulnerable and to hope